Madam Chair, appreciate the witnesses being here today. My question really goes to Dr. Orms-Valletta, and that has to do with the fact that Mr. Gomez mentioned a 7-step process for chemical assessment development recognition, and so in that process there's a draft of IRS assessments, and they're circulated internal to the EPA and to the region for review. So how are those comments and concerns resolved? And once they've been submitted for review, then how do they resolve those concerns and questions?
So the IRIS program has regular communications with program and regional representatives. I think they may meet even monthly. And as comments and questions come in, there are conversations with the full group to sort through and resolve those particular comments. And then that moves on to the next phase.
So I guess you're saying those are incorporated, as those come in, and if they're valid and reviewed, then they are incorporated into the process.
And there is a conversation between the IRIS staff and the program representatives, as well as regional representatives, on addressing those comments.
A second part of that question, I understand the interagency science review formerly was coordinated by the OMB, but how is that review currently coordinated?
I believe it is still coordinated through OMB.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, Mr. Gomez, I have a couple of questions for you. It was noted that the IRS officials have implemented systematic review. Do we have any current documentation that would suggest guidance on how this systematic review takes place and on this process?
So, and this is also something that Dr. Orms-Valletta can elaborate on, but systematic review is something that's been in place in EPA for a while. They have started also to use the software that allows them actually to do this faster. So yes, we are aware that this is something that the IRIS program is using. It is something that's good. In fact, I think maybe in your second panel, there's someone that is even an expert on systematic review or knows a lot more about it.
Thank you. One more question in that regard. To your knowledge, what specific IRIS assessments completed since 2014 have demonstrated full implementation of the EPA IRIS system review process? Any idea?
So, I'm sorry, you're asking how many have been released and went through the whole process?
Have completed the whole process since 2014?
Perhaps Dr. Orms-Valletta might know. I don't think there's been many. I think there was one that was released recently.
So RDX was released recently, and we've also been developing a toxicity value for one of the perfluorinated compounds, PFBS. It's currently in addressing public comment, and we hope to have that released by the end of this year.
Thank you. I yield back my time.
Thank you, Mr.